Hey, it's Tina, founder of Fit Bootcamp. I'm going to make a little recipe for you now today. Usually when I email out my recipes, we of course have the ingredients and the directions and that sort of thing. Sometimes we have pictures for you too, but we've never done a video for you, so we're going to do that. And the reason I decided to do a video for this particular recipe is because in the last couple of months I've talked to different personal training clients or boot campers who've said, well, you know, when you say almond milk, like which flavor should I get or what type of almond milk? And, you know, should I use fresh fruit or frozen fruit? So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about those options as I make this one for you today. So usually when I make it for breakfast, I make it in a large blender like this kind of size. And that way we all have enough for everybody, and then there's leftovers so that we can take it with us to work or to school and you know, have a healthy option for snacks throughout the day. But for today's purposes, I'm going to make it on a much smaller size, so you get a sense of what goes in it and how much and that sort of thing. And I usually don't measure. I usually just go by, you know, visually how much is in there. And I'll tell you why. When I'm using frozen fruit like this, usually I'm going to have to use more of the liquid, right? So I just kind of go by that. So because I'm using frozen fruit today, I'm going to be putting in less fruit and more liquid. But if I was to do one for you with fresh fruit, I would, you know, I would have to, I could use a lot more fruit in it. So it just depends on what's going on. All right, so I wanted you to see, this is the brand that I use, that I like for almond milk. So it's a nut milk rather than a dairy milk. And for me, I find after being asleep all night long with no food, that if I'm to have a smoothie that has orange juice in it, or if it has so citrusy like that, or if it has you know, yogurt or milk or whatever, then I find that I have GI issues, and I certainly can't go and work out after I've consumed something like that on an empty tummy. But nut types of milks works really well for me. And so I really like the almond milk. So I'm showing you two different types here. This one is the vanilla flavored, and this one over here with the pink on top, it's the unsweetened. So it's up to you. I really like to have the extra little bit of sweetness because I do have a sweet tooth. So I use vanilla when I add my almond milk. But with the unsweetened one, there is obviously a difference in terms of how much sugar is in each. So for your purposes, if you're trying to lose weight or if you're cognizant of your sugars, this one has 15 grams of sugar per cup, which isn't too bad, but if you're watching that, you want to be cognizant of that. So you may choose the unsweetened. But the unsweetened has a little bit higher sodium. So it really depends on what's going on for you in your own health and what your choices are going to be. For today's purposes, I'm going to choose the vanilla almond milk. All right, so that's going to go in. And then we have two bags here, frozen. So this is just blueberries, just regular frozen blueberries. And in here, it's frozen spinach. So usually when I do make my smoothies, I use actual fresh spinach, but I haven't been to the grocery store yet. So I'm going to use some frozen stuff. So it's great to have this. Just pick it up, keep it in your freezer for days like this when you know, things are just really busy and you haven't had a chance to get to the grocery store. And so we'll start by putting in the fresh berries. The last time I did this, I spilled them everywhere. So let's see if I can just keep them in here. So I guess if you're really into measuring, I probably use about half a cup. But when I'm looking at this, because I know what has to go in here with it for it to blend properly, that's about a third of the cup full of frozen blueberries. And then this here is frozen spinach. So this comes out in a chunk like this with serving size of veggies. And it's great because you get an extra serving of vegetable in with your breakfast. So it's great because it's always hard to work in extra servings of the healthy stuff throughout our day. And for us, we have a little 7-year-old little boy. It's great because he's given an extra serving of veggies. So we love that too. Now the other thing that we're going to do is add some banana, because the banana gives you that really nice texture of a smoothie that, you know, maybe that you find you were to use yogurt. But the consistency of the banana makes the consistency of the smoothie really nice. I love the texture. So all I did, because bananas these days seem to come in really big servings, I just cut up a piece of that, snapped it in two, popped it in there, and then I just fill it up with the almond milk. So we'll try it here, leave it here like this. See if that blends up well for us. So you can see there's a lot of milk in there. I'll probably be able to go back and add some more berries, but so that's it, blended really well. Now, you know, you kind of play around with these things. So when you're using frozen fruit, sometimes you add too much frozen fruit and you got to go back and add in some of the milk. But here now I'm going to take advantage of it and add a little bit more of the fruit and blend it up. So there you go. So it takes just a couple of minutes and you've got a beautiful, delicious, healthy breakfast that you can take in the car with you and drink it on your way to work. And like I said, you're able to get that extra serving of veggie in there through the spinach, and you can't even taste it. So cheers, have a great day.